So when he's behind me and I'm here, right now he's got both of my hips, so I wouldn't go from here. I would even risk reaching back to at least clear that knee and circle away from him, and now I do my inside shoulder roll and I throw my hips towards his head. If we can catch some type of fancy submission like a triangle, that's dope. If not, we just sit right back to guard. But I had to disconnect my hips, so if he stays right here, don't move. I had to disconnect our hips, and then I felt the disconnect. Now I hit an inside shoulder roll, and then I throw my butt at my partner, and I face them. So it's like a half or a quarter shoulder roll, okay? Or I can just find a way to disconnect my hips and then just slide my knee forward and my butt forward, and now I'm facing my partner. So for sitting back to guard, it's disconnecting the hips is the main thing. Obviously protect your neck, don't let people choke you. But disconnect your hips, then we can start to try to Granby, then we can start to try to sit back to butterfly or whatever. Any questions on sitting to guard before I talk about standing?
Can you show one more time disconnecting the hips, what that looks like?
Yeah, so if he's behind me and I can feel both of my hips being trapped here, I need to literally strip it off with my elbow and my forearm and my hand as I start to slide away from my partner. Now that I've made space, I know this hip is free. I could just throw my butt up and then I'm right back to guard. Or now that I've made space, go ahead and go again. Now that I've made some type of space, I can forward roll and then face him. I'm looking for any type of connection I can get on my partner to retain guard. Okay?
Because if you don't make that space, I go with you.
You'll go with me.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's what that drill was for that we just did.
Okay.
They'll go with you and then they'll stay on top. And if it was a fight, they're just going to keep hitting you in the face. Okay? Standing is a little different. One, because we can, choke people. So you can't just like pop your head straight in the air and they go for the choke. But I also can't have them so tight onto me that when I step up, they just throw their first hook in. So similarly, I want to try to disconnect our hips and then I step away. I step up first with the far leg. I've seen people teach it the other way around for reasons, but to me, this is just most comfortable. So it makes the most sense to me because it feels good. When someone's behind me, I make an initial disconnect and I step up on my far foot and I slide. I don't want to say this is a wrestling sit out because I'm not literally like throwing my head back as I sit out. I do like a shin slide. So I just kick my shin forward and then I'm gonna pull that knee all the way through and then I take my actual step to get up. And now I'm fighting body locks and I'm fighting chokes. So when people are behind me and he's here, again, there's an initial connection on me. If I just like regular stepped up from here, I feel like he would just throw a hook in because now it's like yeah, exactly. And then he's gonna look for the hooks and go for the choke. So from here, I initially disconnect and then I step up, I shin slide, and then I'm actually working to stand up, okay? So I always shin slide before I do this. Even if he had a body lock on me, like if he was here, I would still be here, I would shin slide, and then I would start working to come up to my 4-point stance. And now I can start working to disconnect hands and run away, okay? But just as a personal preference, I always do the outside leg. I always try to keep stuff off of me, keep those knees off, keep the hooks out. And then when I'm ready, I do a miniature shin slide and I almost bounce. And then I can start standing and breaking the body lock, okay? All you have to do for this is stand up for 3 seconds. You don't have to disconnect their hands, all right? Any questions on what we're doing on bottom?